Hi everyone. Today I will be doing ACT therapy, which is acceptance and commitment therapy. Today I have my client here, Jamila, who is 20 years old and struggles with anxiety and is going through a lot. So the technique that I'll be using with her will be the observing anxiety and noticing those anxieties that come up, and then also figuring out some coping skills to work towards this anxiety. So
It's been a bit stressful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know last week you told me you was anxious about a time where you got a ticket. Can you explain a little bit more of that? What happened during that time?
Yeah. So I currently am unemployed. I'm not getting any unemployment benefits. But I have to go to school every single day, and I have issues with my leg, and so I'm not able to park very far, so I have to park in the parking lot, and I've been getting massive tickets every single day, and I have school Monday to Friday, and I'm just getting so anxious because I'm more in debt than I was before I started school, and I just feel like they're gonna tow my car, and I'm just so stressed and anxious about this whole entire thing.
Right. I hear you. I understand. I know it's a little bit hard for you to walk, and you have an issues with your leg, and your classes are far, I'm guessing, and the only way you can get faster or closer to your classes is park the closest parking lot, and the issues is you're getting tickets, and you stated that you don't have a job.
Correct.
Yeah, that's really difficult. Tell me how many tickets you have received.
I received about 25.
25 tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot.
It is.
That is a lot, and for someone who's not working, to get that much ticket and you're not able to pay it, it's kind of hard. Tell me a little bit more of how do you financially take care of yourself with these kind of situation? Okay, I understand you get ticket, but you understand that you have to come to pay it back. What are things you do to, I guess, let me put it this way, how are you financially stable, or how are you taking care of your basic needs?
So I've accepted loans, and so that's basically managing my bills and everything else. But I can't afford to use my the money that I have for my loans for my tickets, because it comes up to $5,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Oh my goodness, that's hard. How do you deal with that? How do you cope when situations like that happen? What are things you do?
I don't really do anything. There's not really much for me to do. I just kind of cry and just try to move on.
Yeah, and crying is okay to cry, because sometimes situations like that can be really difficult, right? Where you're just okay, I have no choice. I have no options but to park here, and I am, getting these tickets. Have you ever thought of reaching out to the department, since you have issues with walking?
Yeah, I have contacted them, but they said that since it's not a medical condition, and my doctor won't write me a note, because it's not because of an accident. It's just for some reason my legs are just not. It's just really hard for me to walk, and so I don't have any type of waiver or voucher. So yeah,
that is hard. Today, I know we were a little bit stressed of getting tickets, and you're not employed, and it can be a little bit very stressful actually, and sometimes the reality is we have to do what we have to do to get to where we want to get, right? But at the same time, our thoughts can also control us, right? So we want to find ways where we can make sure like our thoughts is not interrupting with our daily lives, right? So what we're gonna do is acceptance therapy, which is acceptance and commitment. So we definitely have to be mindful of things that, happen. For example, getting the ticket. I know it's hard, right? And you don't want to get ticket and you have so much, 25 of them, that's a lot. So just think of like activities that you can do to be mindful. So we'll practice like a mindfulness activity where we are observing our anxiety in our heads and like what we can do like after that, right? So are you okay to try this mindfulness activity?
Of course.
All right, so what I need you to do is sit comfortably where you are, making sure that you feel comfortable and you're ready to get into this. Hopefully you have a great imagination. This does require a little bit of imaginations and getting out of our body, okay? So what you can do is like think of an issue or situation. You can close your eyes or you can just however you feel like it's fine. So think of an issue or situations that you to struggle with anxiety, that causes your anxiety, right? So it could be coming to a doctor's appointment, job interview, college presentation, or party. Anything that arises anxiety that is also involved in some self-judgment and stability, right? So sometimes, like with the tickets, right? So while you're doing that, thinking about that situation that causes your anxiety, I want you to inhale and exhale. And first, I want you to notice you're sitting. Feel the sensation of your body touching the furniture, in your case, a chair. Then just keep breathing in and out. And feeling that sensation in your body where it touches the seat. Second, focus your attention on your breath coming in and out of your nose. Notice the temperature of your breathing as you exhale. Does it change? Is it cooler or warm? Notice there is a part of your body, there is a part where you're noticing this sensation you're experiencing. Your body didn't notice itself touching the chair. You breathe, your breath didn't notice itself entering and leaving your body. There's a part of you noticing that that is noticing some part of that breathing. Now, you are in a touch with the part of your watch, and that you need to observe that as well. Keep your eyes closed. Get in touch with the issues or situation that arises your anxiety. In your mind's eyes, metaphorically put it on your lap. Then just let it sit there as your collection of thoughts that you have, feelings that you have, urges that you have. Next, from that part, you observe and watch. Have the part of your metaphorical leave your body and stand in front of yourself. And look at yourself sitting there, remembering and sensing all of these feelings and thoughts that are unpleasant and painful. What do you think of that person sitting there? There's a whole person there struggling with anxiety. Then visualize observing yourself from the opposite side of the room. Although you know what is going on inside, look at what's happening outside. Can other people see the struggle that you have? What do you think of this person? Then you realize, not looking at yourself as you are now, but a memory of yourself. Life has given 10 years from now in a healthy and fulfilling way. You're now older and wiser, and you remember yourself as this anxiety person, this anxious person, sitting and struggling. Try to see yourself sitting there struggling with this issue. And I want you to think, to answer this question as you're older. If you could speak to yourself struggling from the point of view of 10 years, what wisdom would you want to share with the struggle person sitting there now? If you could write a little note across the ages, what would it be? So I just want you to think about that and just think, what would you write to yourself? As you breathe in and breathe out. Then let's come from the other side of the room, back into your body, and sense yourself sitting back in your chair. Remember what you just said to yourself about those struggling thoughts. Finally, pick up that anxiety, take it off your lap, and place it back in your body. Then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay. So I would like to know, what kind of wisdom did you give yourself? Like, what did you write down?
I wrote down that it gets better.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Because sometimes as 10 years from now, imagining the things that are going on right now, those tickets are taken care of. You've paid them all off. It gets better, right? Yeah. Awesome. So this is how we see sometimes anxiety. We think of it like something so big, but once we're mindful about it, we observe it, we understand it, put it somewhere, then we're like, okay, these are just thoughts. These are just words. So, after that mindfulness, how do you feel?
I feel less anxious for sure.
That's good.
Because you are right, like, these are just thoughts. And sometimes it's just really hard to combat our thoughts. So having my future self tell me that it's gonna get better really helped.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what we're gonna do is I wanna leave you with some homework. I don't wanna put it homework. I myself don't like homework, to be honest. So we're gonna work on whenever we're feeling anxious, we're feeling like our mind is taking over ourselves, we need to make sure that we notice those thoughts, right? So I want to give you, I guess, something that you can practice at home, which is like, it's basically a plan for like noticing what is reality versus imagination, right? So this homework is basically what could happen versus what will happen, right? So when sometimes we worry about some things, it is easy to imagine the worst, right? Once we're just like, okay, I got the ticket, now I feel really bad, right? And that's sometimes happens, right? In reality, these worries may never come true sometimes, right? So with this activity, what you can do is write what it says, what is something you're worried about, right? The other one is, what are some clues that you worry will not come true, right? So you're just gonna jot them down. If you worry, does it not come true? Will it happen instead, or will it not happen, right? So just thinking of that. And then another thing is, if your worry does not come true, how will you handle it, right? And will you eventually be okay to handle that situation, right? Once you answered all of these questions, the next time we'll come, we'll look into it, right? We'll look into it and see what things you came up with that you're worried about, and we can tackle along that. But most importantly, I just want you to understand that sometimes our thoughts can take over, and we just need to make sure that we recognize those thoughts. It's really important. So overall, how do you feel about working on this activity at home and then come back the next time?
Yeah, I feel good. I should be able to do that.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so next week we'll definitely touch base on that and then just focus on anything else that comes along. I know getting a ticket is not fun, and sometimes it can be hard, especially when you're not employed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Is there any other questions that you have for me? I know I stated a lot of information here. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.